don't welcome my partners in crime, and I always say that in the nicest possible way. Now, today's case, this one's a quick little case. It's an old case, very old case, and some of you may have heard of it and some of you may have not. But it's a very sad case, a bit of a psychological case actually, really. Very, very sad. So Lisa told me about this case. She'd watched something or read something about it, and she said, listen, you've got to do this case. This woman's just lovely, really. Now, this is Blanche Monnier case, and she's a French case, okay? French names, gosh, here we go again. So, but she's often known as, I think, the Confined Woman of Poitiers. So it's in French, it's something different. So she was this young girl, and she was secretly kept inside a little room in the attic by an aristocratic mother for 25 years. For 25 years. Now it's shocking, really, right? So the story goes was, you see the picture of this girl, she's an absolutely stunning, beautiful girl. So she was a young lady from a very well-to-do French aristocratic family in France. And she was stunning. And she was in love with a lawyer. So, and in them days, probably even in these days, because lawyers don't earn that so much money now, but anyway, in France, this aristocratic family of hers said, you can't marry him because he hasn't got a lot of money. He's a lawyer. And I think the brother may have introduced her to him because he was a graduate, I think, of law, anyway, at the time, or just graduating law, and I think that's where she met him. But it wasn't good enough for her to marry. Now remember, in this sort of time, we're talking about 1800s, 1849 time, I think she was born, and I think she died in 1913, so this is a very old case. Especially aristocratic families and with women who would have ended up with some title or some money or some property. Women didn't own it in them days. You'd get married and that would go to that. So you would usually join your wealth together. So this family weren't having none of that with this girl. But I think she really loved him, you see. She was in love with this man. And she had this outgoing, beautiful personality. Everyone that ever saw her said how beautiful she was, inside and out. And all of a sudden one day, she disappears. She disappears. And the man actually, saying that she was going to marry, the lawyer, up and coming lawyer, also died in mysterious circumstances a few years after that. So, you know, we don't know. Not saying anything because we don't know, but he also died in mysterious circumstances. So, their family, this girl's family, this Blanche, I love the name Blanche, her family, her brother and her mother, are telling people she's run away. She's she's gone. We don't know where she is. Missing. For years. Well, she wasn't. They'd shoved her up in the attic, in this large house. These aristocrats, gave her a load of money, thinking that she was doing the wrong thing by marrying someone beneath her with less money. But they're going to lock you up in like an attic room for 25 years and literally torture you, because not only is she in an attic room, there's no light. They've blocked up all the windows, locked the door, and literally forgot about her. She was thrown a few crumbs, bits and pieces. She was never given anything. No love, attention, she never spoke to anybody. She was, 25 years. These people downstairs lived their life, got on with it. And all the time telling people that this girl was just gone. Now these people were aristocrats, right? They had money. That means they had staff. Even the staff knew this girl was there. No one said anything. No one did anything. For 25 years of her life she spent in this dark room with no one. And then all of a sudden, after 25 years, comes this letter to the police saying, you need to look in this house because there's this girl in there, being kept captive in there, and has been for many years. So the police, they then go into the home, they raid it. So you have the mother sitting down there, in all their glory, and the brother, and they go up to this attic room to find this girl in the most terrible state. Actually, their investigations actually had to cease because the stench of the room, after years and years of not being cleaned. Anyway, this letter, it states that, it says, because in them days they wrote lovely, didn't it? I have the honour to inform you of this extraordinary, exceptions, this serious circumstances going on here of this, spinster who is locked up in Madame Monnier's house, half-star, and living in a putrid litter for the past 25 years. So someone who's done this, wrote this anonymous letter, and they never found out to this day who wrote this letter. Knew everything, didn't they? Because in this letter it's telling you she's been up there for 25 years. Now when they found this poor young girl, they rescued her in these appalling conditions actually. There was old food and faeces everywhere. As I said, the stench was so bad the police couldn't even investigate really. There was bugs all around her bed, there was rats, there was everything. She barely weighed 25 kilograms, 55 pounds in weight, this girl. She'd been up there 25 years. They'd starved her literally, I think in the end, they literally had forgot about her. But this staff and all these people that work there, no one said anything for 25 years. I mean, she could have died at any point up there. I mean, really, when you see the photograph, she was near death actually. When she was found, she was near death. How she survived it, there was nothing of her really. And I think the torture, and I'm going to say it's torture because it really is, isn't it? When you lock someone out, you take away their liberty, don't you, for 25 years. We don't even do this to prisoners, do we? I've just spoke about a few cases, and they're being treated better than this girl ever was. And now, you think, you locked this girl, you took her because she was in love with a man that in your eyes didn't have enough money, and you shoved her upstairs in an attic and forgot about her. It's just shocking, isn't it, really? Anyway, they found then that she was lying completely naked. I don't even think she had the energy to move around to tell the police. He described the state of her bed and he said it was just terrible. It was just never anything had been changed. Nothing had, she had no clothes. Whatever the clothes she had had now rotten and gone. She was just in a terrible, terrible state. And it was really, really bad. There was just stuff everywhere. There was just bugs and stuff everywhere in this. Anyway, they got her out of there. But they had to be really careful, didn't they, you see, because you can't just take someone who hasn't seen the light of day for 25 years, or anybody had any conversation or anything like that for that time, into a situation. She didn't know who these people were. By this stage, she's lost her mind. She's actually now is severely anorexic, which also affects the mind. She's also now got schizophrenia because of the trauma and the stress, and that's what's brought it on. That's what they think brought it on. She was also known at that point to even where they'd put her actually into, finally got her into an asylum, mental asylum, because that's all that could happen to her actually after that. Because, once they'd got her out, and the girl was absolutely so traumatised with life at that point. The experiences that she experienced as this young, vibrant girl who was in love, to be locked in this room for 25 years and lost all that. It's enough to drive you mad, isn't it? And that's, I think, what it did to her. It drove her mad. Plus the starvation was enough really then to still do the body and stuff, and the mind. Terrible, terrible damage. And this is what happened to this poor girl. And because she hadn't had any clothes and stuff, She used to, even in the asylum, she would remove her clothes and stuff. She had no idea of how to act or anything anymore. And that's what her mother had done to her. Now the mother was going to go to court, she was going to be taken to court, and she died 15 days actually after she was arrested. And because of course the society went mad, because these people, you see, in these days only ever thought really about what other people thought about them. Society was this thing, wasn't it, where everything was for show. And so this is why they locked her in the cupboard, to stop this embarrassment of her marrying a lawyer at the time who they felt didn't have enough money. But when it came out that they had done this, the shame and everything, and also the people were absolutely going mad trying to get to this woman. She actually died. And then the son, he was arrested as well. But the problem is with them days as well, I think they did arrest him and charge him with that because he knew about it but didn't say. But there was no laws at that time that they could enforce on that. So if there's no law in place that you have to say about someone being captive and you know about it, there was no law, so they had to release him and let him go. I don't know how his life ended up, but it probably wouldn't have been very good because everyone knew what he'd done. You're living this luxury life downstairs and your sister's upstairs for 25 years being literally forgotten about. I don't think people are going to like you very much anymore. So this is the sort of story of Blanche, really. And it's very sad because this beautiful girl wanted to marry this, lawyer who she loved. They loved each other. So we have the life of this beautiful, don't we, young girl, right? This French socialite. She was well respected. The family was well respected. I think they was actually of old noble origins. So they came from, this, you're talking about really, really wealthy and really good, what they call blood stock, really, weren't you? So in 1874, I think, was when she was renowned for this physical beauty and also attracting, and plus that she would have been a great suitor, you see, for this family to then extend to other families with lots more money. And this is then what made them put her away. So I think in 1874, at the age of 25, that's it, she was gone. And 25 years later, she was found in this absolutely terrible state. Terrible state. There was films made about it. I think there's a movie, isn't there, called something in the Attic, Flowers in the Attic, which is like the English version of it, where they had 2 children and they'd lock them in. But that's I think it's slightly based on this story as well, and that's where they had the 2 of them. But this girl was actually on her own in there, and it left this girl, didn't it? Really terrible and that. So there's been a lot of writers about this. I think there's another movie actually that's been done about this, and lots of people talk about Blanche because I think of her beauty and how this was allowed to happen in them times, and probably how we should remember these cases. And I think everything you read about Blanche, people, you've got some of them, as some people that say things about, because when she was found, she was a totally different person to what she was when she went in, and they use her photographs from that for different sort of reasons. But her younger photos, I've never really read anything about Blanche that people don't feel sorry for her and feel sorry for the life. It's a heart-rending sort of case, this one, because she ended up dying in 1913, I think, in an institution. Her life was never the same, was it? She was 64, I think, or 63 when she died. And it was quite a terrible death, to tell the truth. But she had a terrible life, didn't she? She had a terrible life. And the thing is, when you have schizophrenia in them days, you had other illnesses like anorexia and stuff, There was no help for you. Listen, there's no cure for schizophrenia now. There certainly wasn't in them days. And so this girl, her mind would have tortured her. Her mind would have tortured her, and it would have been just awful for this young girl. So this case is really in memory of Blanche. Remember her. You know, I think this is what everyone says about Blanche and this. Remember her. The girl that was in love with a man and was locked away for 25 years just for being in love with someone who didn't have enough money to suit the family. And that's all it was about, this case. True love story, isn't it, really? But ended so tragic. So, rest in peace, Blanche. So this has been a very quick case of Blanche Monnier. Now, beautiful, absolutely. Case that I think is a good one to end on, because I've done a few tonight and I'm going to end on this one. So I am still filming the Manson case. Now it's Charles Manson case, and it's already in 3 parts, that case, and it's just about from his childhood up to his imprisonment and stuff. The actual case of the Manson family is broken into so many segments. So I've started off with Charles Manson, then I'm going to go on to Tex, and then on to the girls, until you get the full picture of what went really on. So Charles Manson is, as I say, 3 videos already before we've got on to Tex. And so this will be a good trilogy, you know, just it's going to be like loads of them. So there's other cases coming up as well. So there's lots happening on Murder Analysed, and probably by the time I put this out, we'd have reached 10,000. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you very much. So you know what to do. You know, thumbs up if you liked it. Hit the like button. You can subscribe, because you know, just because we're at 10, we don't want to stop. Let's get up there. So you can hear this case on Instagram. You can follow us on Facebook. No, you're not going to hear this case on Instagram. You're going to hear this case on Spotify in a few days when I have time to do it. You'll be able to see us on and talk to us and converse with us and leave messages and stuff like that on either Instagram or Facebook, and we love all your comments, so keep them coming. There's lots of things happening on Murder Analysed, and now Taylor, I think, is going to be, I think her throat's a bit better now because she's had her tonsils out, so that's why you haven't seen much of her. So, thank you to everybody for all your comments, for all your support with Murder Analysed, to all my partners in crime, whether you're members or not. Thank you very much. I really appreciate you watching, you taking the time out of your day to comment, or supporting Murder Analysed with the Members Lounge. We really appreciate it. We really appreciate you, and we love this channel, and we hope you do too. So, till the next time, bye bye.